Hi everybody, Namaskar. In this particular video, we are going to talk about the recent meeting held in Egypt of COP27, Conference of Parties, and the recent development about India joining the MAC, Mangrove Alliance for Climate, right? तो इस वीडियो में हम बेसिक्स की भी बात करेंगे कि COP27 जो है, जो कॉन्फ्रेंस ऑफ पार्टीज है, वो एग्जैक्टली है क्या, किस पर्पस के लिए है, कौन कौन सी पार्टीज हैं इसमें, एंड देन वील मूव फर्दर टू द मैक, जो अभी एक मैंग्रोव अलायंस फॉर क्लाइमेट जो हुआ है, जो इंडिया ने ज्वाइन किया है बाकी दूसरे कंट्रीज के साथ, राइट? सो लेट्स बिगिन. So this was in news. India joins Mangrove Alliance for Climate at COP27. That's why we are here reading about, right? So during COP27 Climate Summit in Sharm el Sheikh, Egypt, India joined the MAC, the Mangrove Alliance for Climate, and UAE and Indonesia announced the Mangrove Alliance for Climate. So the two nations which announced this alliance were UAE and your Indonesia. ठीक है, तो ये थोड़ा सा फैक्चुअल है, इसको याद रखिएगा कि why this was in news. सो दिस इज द रीजन ये न्यूज में था. नेक्स्ट, इंडिया ने जो ज्वाइन किया है उसके बारे में समझते हैं. व्हाट इज द एम एंड व्हाट इज द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ ज्वाइनिंग सच एन अलायंस. So to improve the pace and scale of mangrove conservation as well as restoration, ठीक है, across the world, UAE along with Indonesia took the initiative to form Mangrove Alliance for Climate at the COP27 summit in Egypt, right? So what has the official website noted about this alliance? Let's have a look. So the official website said MAC seeks to scale up, accelerate conservation, restoration and growing plantation efforts for mangrove ecosystems, for the benefit of communities globally, and recognize the importance of these ecosystems for climate change mitigation and adaptation. So basically, why are we emphasizing on conservation of mangrove and restoration and plantation? So as to help the climate change mitigation and adaptation, right? So abhi aage we'll see how mangrove can help us in the climate change mitigation and adaptation. We'll have a look on that as well. First, let's understand what exactly is COP27 and how has this emerged. kahan se ye idea aaya? Why are we discussing the mangrove plantation and restoration while we had this COP27 meeting, right? So UN climate summits जो होती हैं वो हर साल होती हैं. So UN climate summits are held every year for governments to agree steps to limit global temperature rises. So what is basic aim? जो basic aim होता है in summit का, in meetings का, is to agree to steps to limit global temperature rises, and they are referred to as COPs, which means conference of the parties, right? And इसमें parties क्या है? तो parties जो attending countries होती हैं, parties are the attending countries that signed up to the original UN climate agreement in 1992. So parties are those attending countries that signed the original UN climate agreement held in 1992. Right? So, and what is 27 here? So COP27 is the 27th annual meet. Right? So 27th annual UN meeting on climate is what is resembled by COP27. Now, it has taken place in Sharm el Sheikh, Egypt until 18th of November. Recently, it has concluded, and COP27 was held. Why was it held? What was the objective? To review progress raise ambition on emissions cuts and draw up funding plans to help vulnerable countries to adapt to climate change, right? तो emission cutting के ऊपर और जो बडिंग कंट्रीज हैं, जो वल्नरेबल कंट्रीज, वल्नरेबल कंट्रीज हैं, जो डेवलपिंग नेशंस हैं, उनको फंड्स भी प्रोवाइड करेंगे ये, तो टू अडेप्ट टू क्लाइमेट चेंज, राइट? वील फर्दर सी. Now the question comes, why is COP27 important? Why are we talking about COP27 and how is it important? So ever since the first COP in Berlin in 1995, please take a note, Berlin में पहली मीटिंग हुई थी 1995 में. COPs have been used to review what parties have achieved and measure progress. तो जो पहला ओरिजिनल ह्यूमन क्लाइमेट अग्रीमेंट साइन हुआ था, उसमें जो कंडीशंस थी उसको रिव्यू करने के लिए कि जो पार्टीज हैं, पार्टीज, बाय पार्टीज आई मीन द कंट्रीज हु साइंड अप द ओरिजिनल यूएन क्लाइमेट अग्रीमेंट बैक इन 1992, how are they progressing towards their goal and how beautifully or how well they are managing their steps, right? तो जो उनको steps लेने थे, how are they measuring their progress and how far have they achieved? So there also where negotiations take place for the next round of emissions reductions. See, every year we are witnessing huge round of climate and devastating climate change, right? So in these conferences as well, we discuss the next round of measures, the next steps that has to be taken considering the परसेंटेज ऑफ डिवास्टेटिंग क्लाइमेट चेंज इन माइंड. तो जितना हर साल हम क्लाइमेट चेंज को डिवास्टेट होता देख रहे हैं, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड के एमिशंस बढ़ रहे हैं, इन सबको लेके भी हर साल depending upon the current CO2 emissions, depending upon the current pollution rate, we also review and we also take steps accordingly. तो इसके बारे में भी negotiations होते हैं वहाँ पे कि अगला जो step होगा वो कैसा होगा, क्या होगा. They are a vital means of monitoring our progress in the goals of Paris Agreement, right? चलिए, तो this is why we are talking about COP27 and this is the importance of COP27. Let's have a look on the brief background of COP27. So there is a slighter risk that has been overshadowed. COP27 is taking place against the backdrop of devastating extreme weather events, right? Such as heat waves, floods, Russian war and a generational energy emergency. The summit faces the risk of being overshadowed by other elements of current global poly crisis, right? So these are the risks which are being overshadowed. Then talking about the implementation, so according to the Egyptian COP presidency, according to the Egyptian COP presidency, this will be an implementation COP to put into action the Paris Agreement, since the Paris rule book was finalized at COP26 in Glasgow last year. So last year कोविड की वजह से थोड़ा डिले भी हुआ था कॉप की मीटिंग. सो COP26 वाज हेल्ड इन ग्लासगो एंड वहां पे पेरिस अग्रीमेंट की रूल बुक, तो पेरिस रूल बुक फाइनलाइज की गई थी जिसको COP27 में इम्प्लीमेंट किया गया है. हेंस इट इज बीइंग नोन एज इम्प्लीमेंटेशन कॉप, राइट? तो पेरिस रूल बुक को इम्प्लीमेंट किया जा रहा है, इसलिए यहाँ पे पेरिस अग्रीमेंट को पुट इनटू एक्शन करके इम्प्लीमेंटेशन कॉप का नाम दिया जा रहा है. नाउ अ होप फॉर द डेवलपिंग वर्ल्ड, सो द कंट्रीज, द नेशन विच आर स्टिल इन द स्टेटस ऑफ बीइंग, they are being developing themselves, they are in the developing category. So being the first COP, take a note, this is the first COP which is being held in a developing country since COP22. So it's a first COP to be held in developing country since COP22 which has been held in Marrakesh in 2016. Morocco में एक city है ये. There's a hope that the issues key for developing world, such as adaptation, climate finance, and loss and damage will be centered, right? So this has been the brief background about COP27. Few important factors which we have seen. यहाँ पे कुछ नई चीजें भी थी कि आफ्टर 2016, आफ्टर मराकेश इन मोरक्को, जहाँ पे COP22 हुआ था, उसके बाद दिस इज द फर्स्ट टाइम व्हेन द COP मीटिंग इज बीइंग हेल्ड इन अ developing country. All right, so next, what is special about COP27 from previous COP? So what is different and what is special about COP27? So COP27 is being described as, it is being described as the conference of implementation. We have already seen previously, given that UN climate talks are often criticized as a talk more, do little exercise. तो UN climate जो summits होते हैं उनके बारे में ये कहा जाता है कि यहाँ बातें ही होती हैं, काम उतने नहीं होते, बातें ज़्यादा होती हैं, काम नहीं होते. So it's more of a talk more and do little exercise. But here this COP27 is being described as the COP of implementation, wherein we are going to implement the Paris rule book, which has been finalized in the Glasgow COP26, right? So after the ratification of Paris Agreement on Climate Change of 2015, the focus is on voluntary national actions to drive down greenhouse gas emissions and keep the rise in average global temperature to well below 2 degrees Celsius and as close to 1.5 degrees Celsius as possible by the end of the century. So Paris Agreement on Climate Change 2015 focuses upon the national actions which would be on voluntary basis to cut down the greenhouse emissions and keep the rise in average global temperature to well below 2 degrees Celsius. So 2 degrees Celsius तो है और as close as 1.5 degrees Celsius. तो इससे नीचे ही हमें अपना global average temperature रखना है. This has been stated in Paris Agreement signed in 2015, right? So by the end of this century we have to keep it. अब इस टारगेट का क्या? सो व्हाट अबाउट 1.5 डिग्री सेल्सियस टारगेट? तो देयर हैव बीन मेनी रिपोर्ट्स, जो अभी यूएन की एमिशंस गैप रिपोर्ट आई थी उसमें भी कुछ बातें की गई हैं. लेट्स हैव अ लुक. सो साइंटिफिक रिपोर्ट्स फ्रॉम यूएन रिलीज्ड अहेड ऑफ COP27. सो देयर वाज अ रिपोर्ट रिलीज्ड अहेड ऑफ COP27 मीटिंग इन इजिप्ट point to extremely narrow window available to close the emissions gap and prevent rise in global temperature beyond 1.5 degrees Celsius. And the UNEP's emissions gap report 2022. So who publishes the emissions gap report? It's UNEP. It says even if all the conditional nationally determined contributions, so if all the conditional NDCs, voluntary pledges submitted under the Paris Pact, followed by targets to reduce emissions to net zero, are implemented, global warming is projected to rise to 1.8 degrees Celsius with a 66% probability, which means यहाँ पे emissions gap report ये कह रही है कि अगर सारे nations, अगर सारे nationally determined contributions जितने NDCs हैं वो सभी अगर voluntary pledge लेके भी, if they on a voluntary basis, if they pledge to reduce the target, if they take a pledge to target to reduce emissions to a net zero, अगर वो net zero का भी target लेके चल रहे हैं और उसको implement कर रहे हैं, then also global warming is projected to rise to 1.8 degrees Celsius and with a 66% probability. तो 66% probability फिर भी रहेगी if the nations are going to target the net zero emissions and if they pledge on a voluntary basis. So the report also points out that the global global annual emissions during 2021 at 52.8 gigatons represents a slight increase compared to 2019, the pre-COVID year, and that the outlook for 2030 is not bright. So keeping in mind the annual global emissions of 2021, which has shown a slight rise as compared to 2019, the pre-COVID year, the estimated global emission जो reduction है या जो global emission का percentage है, it's not very good for the year of 2030 for this very decade, right? Current temperature rise. What is the current temperature rise? Current temperature rise stands at 1.2 degrees Celsius to 1.3 degrees Celsius over the pre-industrial average, the highest in about 12,000 years since the last ice age. With the present soft approaches to limiting atmospheric carbon dioxide, it will be almost impossible to achieve 1.5 degree Celsius target. तो इस समय जो बिल्कुल सॉफ्ट अप्रोचेस चल रहे हैं कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को लिमिट करने के, इट विल बी ऑलमोस्ट इम्पॉसिबल टू अचीव हमारा 1.5 डिग्री का टारगेट, राइट? Now let's talk about the focus areas of COP27. तो ये जो मीटिंग हुई है COP27 की, what has been the focus areas जहाँ पे mainly इस मीटिंग को फोकस किया गया है. So the countries that are most affected by the effects of a changing climate have been seeking loss and damage payments from the richer industrialized nations who have contributed the bulk of CO2 in the atmosphere. Forming up this compensation mechanism is a major area of focus at Sharm el-Sheikh. So, वो developing nations which has been facing a financial loss from the richer industrialized nation, जिनकी वजह से bulk में CO2 atmosphere में है, so उनके compensation के बारे में basically यहाँ पे बात की गई है. Also, COP focus on 3 main areas. So पहला था reducing emissions. Second is helping countries to prepare for and deal with climate change. And third area was securing technical support and funding for developing countries for the above. तो basically डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज को लेके काफी ज्यादा फोकस इस मीटिंग में रहा है. Some areas not fully resolved or covered at COP26 were also picked up. तो कुछ ऐसे एरियाज, कुछ ऐसे फैक्टर्स जो कि COP26 में डिस्कस नहीं किए गए थे, those areas have also been picked up. Firstly being loss and damage finance, money to help countries recover from effects of climate change rather than just prepare for it. Establishment of a global carbon market. Establishment of a global carbon market to price the effects of emissions into products and services globally, right? And third is strengthen the commitments to reduce coal use. So these are the 3 points which has been picked up from COP26. So now coming to the main news, COP27 that has identified that mangrove plantation can contribute in your climate change mitigation. It can be a great solution for climate change. That's why we are going to talk about Mangrove Alliance for Climate, right? So COP27 has identified mangrove as an important solution. So firstly, let's talk about Mangrove Alliance for Climate, which is commonly known as MAC. तो MAC के बारे में बात करते हैं. कौन कौन से nations included हैं और क्या क्या aim है इनका. तो it includes UAE, Indonesia, India, Sri Lanka, Australia, Japan and Spain. So it seeks to educate and spread awareness worldwide on the role of mangroves in curbing global warming and its potential as a solution for climate change, right? So they are seeing it as a potential for climate change, and now if we talk about why are mangroves being the biggest strength for climate change, the mangroves are being the important strength for the climate change mitigation if we talk about. So bilkul brief mein I'll tell you, just because their biggest strength lies in capturing carbon, right? So mangrove they grow in a very muddy soil, और उस muddy soil के अंदर में their strength lies in ability to capture the carbon. तो over the fact कि वो कार्बन को बिल्कुल कैप्चर करते हैं, they also keep a hold of that carbon for a very long time. So mangrove का grow करना would help us, would help to suck the carbon, to capture the carbon in their roots and in their soil. So this is the reason mangroves are being considered as a great potential for climate change. And the intergovernmental alliance works on a voluntary basis. Now यहाँ पे जो बात की जा रही है कि मैंग्रोव अलायंस फॉर क्लाइमेट के बारे में, तो इसका एम यही था टू एजुकेट एंड स्प्रेड अवेयरनेस अबाउट द मैंग्रोव एंड देयर रोल इन क्लाइमेट चेंज. बट यहाँ पे ये भी बोला जा रहा है कि जो इंटरगवर्नमेंटल अलायंस है वो वॉलेंटरी बेसिस पे काम करेगा, विच मीन्स दैट देयर वोंट बी एनी रियल चेक्स अपॉन दीज नेशंस, राइट? तो कोई चेक्स नहीं होंगे टू होल्ड मेंबर्स अकाउंटेबल. इंस्टेड द पार्टीज विल डिसाइड देयर ओन कमिटमेंट्स. The parties will decide their own commitments and deadlines regarding planting and restoring mangroves, and the members will also share expertise and support each other in researching, managing and protecting coastal areas, right? So this is how the MAC is going to function. Basically there won't be anybody held accountable for their actions or something. There won't be any real checks and balances upon them. It's purely on a voluntary basis. So this is a shortcoming according to me. थोड़ी सी एक shortcoming है. चलिए अब इतनी बात हो रही है मैक के बारे में, तो लेट्स हैव अ लुक ऑन द मैंग्रोव. सो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली आर मैंग्रोव्स? सो मैंग्रोव्स आर डिफाइंड एज assemblages of salt tolerant trees. तो ये एक असेंबली होती है salt tolerant trees की and shrubs की that grow in intertidal regions of the tropical and subtropical coastline. तो tropical और subtropical coastline के बीच में जो एक intertidal region होता है वहीं पे mangroves grow करते हैं. and mangroves are the assemblages of salt tolerant trees and shrubs. So they grow luxuriantly in the places where fresh water mixes with salt water. It's an important feature of mangroves. जहाँ पे fresh water और salt water mix हो रहा है, they grow there. and where sediment is composed of accumulated deposits of mud where they capture the carbon, right? So this is where they grow. If you can see, ये इनकी roots है. They are growing in the intertidal region, salt water fresh water के बीच में, और ये इनकी roots है which is very well accumulated in deposits of mud, right? Let's have a look on the features of mangroves. The first one being the saline environment, right? So they can survive under extreme hostile environments such as high salt and low oxygen conditions. Extreme environment. Second is low oxygen. So underground tissue of any plant needs oxygen for respiration. ठीक है, but in a mangrove environment oxygen in soil is limited or nil. या तो थोड़ी होती है या बिल्कुल नहीं होती, zero होती है. So for the purpose of breathing they develop special roots called pneumatophores. तो इनके जो roots हैं, if you have seen in last image, just a second. Yeah. So here if you can see, यहाँ पे जो ये roots ऊपर आ गई हैं, they are not in the mud, they have grown above. So these are known as pneumatophores. राइट, दे हेल्प इन ब्रीदिंग, ये बाहर से ऑक्सीजन कैप्चर करते हैं बिकॉज देयर रूट्स आर नॉट असेंबल इनसाइड द mud, it's well above the mud. So the survival in extreme condition with their roots submerged in water, we have already seen अभी इनकी जो roots होती हैं वो water में होती है. Mangrove trees thrive in hot, muddy and salty conditions that would quickly kill most plants. So they thrive in the most extreme conditions and they are viviparous. इसका मतलब कि इनकी जो seeds हैं they germinate while they are still attached to the plant tree. Once germinated, the seed grow into a propagule. ठीक है? And what is a propagule? The propagule is a vegetative structure that can become detached from a plant and give rise to a new plant. Example: bud, sucker, or spore. So basically, they germinate and they germinate into a bud or a fruit till they are attached to their plant tree, and after they are grown into a bud, they get themselves detached and they grow into a fully grown plant. So it's a viviparous plant. So इनके features भी देख लिए. Now let's have a look on the significance of mangrove. So they trap and cycle various organic material, chemical elements and important nutrients in the coastal ecosystem. They provide one of the basic food chain resources for marine organisms. They provide physical habitat and nursery grounds for a wide variety of marine organisms, many of which have important recreational or commercial value. Mangroves also serve as storm buffers by reducing wind and wave action in shallow shoreline areas. ठीक है, so these are the significance of mangroves. अभी हमने I have already told you about their contribution in climate change, कैसे वो करते हैं, because they suck or they capture the carbon around them. Let's talk about the area covered. So global mangrove cover जो है, that is total global mangrove cover in the world is 1,50,000 square kilometers, and Asia has the largest number of mangrove worldwide. South Asia comprises 6.8% of the world's mangrove cover. तो फैक्चुअल चीजें हैं ये, देख लीजिएगा एक बार. इंडिया के मैंग्रोव कवर को देख लीजिए, जो 2021 में ISFR की रिपोर्ट आई थी, इंडियन स्टेट फॉरेस्ट रिपोर्ट 2021, वहां पे मैंग्रोव के बारे में काफी ज्यादा डिस्कशन हुए थे. सो लेट्स टॉक अबाउट द इंडियाज मैंग्रोव कवर. तो इंडिया का कंट्रीब्यूशन जो है, it is 45.8% of total mangrove cover in South Asia. तो South Asia में 45.8% cover जो है, it is solely of India's contribution. And according to Indian State Forest Report 2021, mangrove cover in India is 4,992 square kilometer, which is 0.15% of the country's total geographical area. And the largest mangrove forest is Sundarbans in West Bengal, are the largest mangrove forest region in the world. Please take a note. It is listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. ठीक है, तो वर्ल्ड की जो लार्जेस्ट मैंग्रोव फॉरेस्ट रीजन है, इट इज इन सुंदरबंस वेस्ट बंगाल में, एंड इसको यूनेस्को वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट का भी दर्जा दिया गया है. इट इज फॉलोड बाय गुजरात. सो सबसे पहले वेस्ट बंगाल है, सेकेंडली गुजरात एंड अंडमान निकोबार आइलैंड्स. ठीक है, now let's have a look on the challenges with mangrove conservation. What are the challenges? So firstly being commercialization of coastal areas. So aquaculture, coastal development, rice and palm oil farming and industrial activities are rapidly replacing these salt tolerant trees and ecosystem they support. ठीक है, तो aquaculture या जो commercialization चल रहा है अभी coastal areas में, palm oil farming को लेके या coastal development को लेके, so these developments are making the mangrove compromise their growth. ठीक है. Then secondly is shrimp farms. तो emergence of shrimp farms, shrimp जो है, shrimp farming भी एक मेजर कॉज है. इट हैज कॉज्ड एटलीस्ट 35% ऑफ ओवरऑल लॉस ऑफ मैंग्रोव फॉरेस्ट. द राइज ऑफ श्रिम्प फार्मिंग इज अ रिस्पॉन्स टू इंक्रीजिंग एपेटाइट फॉर श्रिम्प in US, Europe, Japan and China in recent decades. And temperature related issues जो आते हैं वो बेसिकली एक फ्लक्चुएशन है 10 डिग्री का. इट्स अ फ्लक्चुएशन ऑफ 10 degrees in a short period of time is enough stress to damage the plant, and freezing temperatures for even a few hours can kill some mangrove species. ठीक है, तो 10 डिग्री के अंतर पे भी इनको जो है एक शॉक मिलता है, and they get killed. Now soil related issues जो आ रहे हैं, the soil where mangroves are rooted, they possess a challenge for plants as it is severely lacking in oxygen. And lastly being the excessive human intervention. So during the past changes in sea level, mangroves were able to move further inland. तो sea level के changes में जो है mangrove they used to move, they have been moving towards inland, but in many places human development is now a barrier that limits how far a mangrove forest can migrate. So mangroves also frequently suffer from oil spills, right? So these are the challenges, और इन्हीं की वजह से जो मैंग्रोव की ग्रोथ है, जो प्लांटेशन है, that has been impacted. इन्हीं सबको लेके COP27 में बात हुई है. And let's talk about the related initiatives. सो यूनेस्को की जो डेजिग्नेटेड साइट्स हैं, तो जो मैंग्रोव्स को लेके हैं, व्हाट आर द इनिशिएटिव्स रिलेटेड टू मैंग्रोव्स, अलग अलग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की. लेट्स हैव अ लुक ऑन दैट. द इंक्लूजन ऑफ मैंग्रोव्स इन बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व्स, वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट्स एंड यूनेस्को ग्लोबल जियो पार्क्स contributes to improving knowledge, मैनेजमेंट, कंजर्वेशन ऑफ मैंग्रोव इकोसिस्टम्स थ्रू आउट दी वर्ल्ड. कीप इन माइंड जो यूनेस्को की डेजिग्नेटेड साइट्स हैं, सबसे पहला है आपका बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व्स, सेकेंड इज वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट एंड थर्ड इज यूनेस्को ग्लोबल जियो पार्क. इन तीनों में मैंग्रोव्स को इंक्लूड किया गया है. अनदर वन बीइंग इंटरनेशनल सोसाइटी फॉर मैंग्रोव इकोसिस्टम, ISME. So ISME is a non-governmental organization established in 1990 to promote study of mangroves with the purpose of enhancing their conservation, rational management and sustainable utilization. Third being the Blue Carbon Initiative. It is focused on mitigating climate change through the conservation and restoration of coastal and marine ecosystem. कौन कोऑर्डिनेट करता है ब्लू कार्बन इनिशिएटिव को? तो इट इज बीइंग कोऑर्डिनेटेड बाय कंजर्वेशन इंटरनेशनल, CI, IUCN एंड इंटरगवर्नमेंटल ओशियानोग्राफिक कमीशन, यूनेस्को. सो IOC, यूनेस्को, CI एंड IUCN, ये तीनों बॉडीज इसको कोऑर्डिनेट करती हैं. Lastly is International Day for Conservation of Mangrove Ecosystem. So UNESCO celebrates the 26th July की जो दिन है of every year with the name of raising awareness about mangrove ecosystem and to promote their sustainable management and conservation. So 26th July is the International Day for Mangrove. Now what can be the way forward? जो लिस्ट की गई थी. सो कंजर्वेशन ऑफ मैंग्रोव्स नीड्स टू बी लिंक्ड विद अ ब्रॉडर पर्सपेक्टिव विद एक्टिव कम्युनिटी इन्वॉल्वमेंट. कम्युनिटी इन्वॉल्वमेंट का करना बहुत जरूरी है इन दिस केस. एक्टिव कम्युनिटी इन्वॉल्वमेंट होना चाहिए. एनवायरमेंटल सिक्योरिटी एंड रिड्यूसिंग एनी रिस्क फ्रॉम नेचुरल कैलामिटीज. Such measures need to be adopted more holistically in view of anticipatory adaptation measures which hold the clue for successful and effective management. Then integration of mangroves into national programs for reducing emissions from deforestation and forest degradation is the need of the hour. Creating a new carbon sink. This is very important point. एक नया carbon sink अगर हम बनाते हैं from, if we create a new carbon sink from mangrove afforestation, अगर mangrove के afforestation से if we create a new carbon sink and reducing emissions from mangrove deforestation are two possible ways for countries to meet their NDC's target and achieve carbon neutrality. Right? So this is it for this video. We have talked about the mangrove. We have talked about the Mangrove Alliance for Climate and why are mangrove being considered a huge potential in the matter of climate change. So this was it for this video, and thank you. I'll see you in the next video.